What's good, y'all? AB Media 83 here. And today we're talking about Travis Rudolph. Now, to be perfectly honest, I hadn't really been following the case. I've heard about it over the past few months, but I haven't really been following the case like that. But today he was found not guilty. And I'm happy for the brother. Um, you don't know the story here. Him and his ex-girlfriend got into an argument. He asked her to leave the house. So, like a normal strag would, she went and got her brothers and some other dudes and asked them to take him out. So they went back to his house and they jumped Travis. And as the situation escalated, Travis thought he saw a gun and started shooting at these people, killing one person and injuring another. Now, if you ask me, this was self-defense. This was a textbook case of self-defense. And Travis had every right to defend himself. By the way, if you're just coming in, like, share, subscribe, the Cash App, and support the show. But as far as I'm concerned, Travis had every right to defend himself. And this woman, his crazy ex-girlfriend, should be arrested for attempted murder. In my opinion, she should be arrested for attempted murder, and her co-conspirator should be arrested for attempted murder as well. This is it's outrageous that this got taken to trial at all. But when you look at the prosecutor, guess what? Guess what it is? Guess who it is? So-called sister took him to trial, and the jury found him not guilty. Now, the sister has to take an L for that. The so-called sister prosecutor has to take an L for that, and I don't feel sorry for her whatsoever. But right now, we're gonna watch a little clip as soon as I get it set up here to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. One second. Let's see. Go to branding. Let's go ahead and put our fair use overlay on, and we're going to watch a video. All right. Hope everybody's doing all right today, but this is breaking news, and I'm just here reporting on it. All right.
State of Florida versus Travis Rudolph. Defendant, verdict. We, the jury, find as follows. As to count one, we find the defendant not guilty.
Former NFL player Travis Rudolph acquitted on all counts in the death of one man and the shooting of another during a fight at his home in Florida. We look at 7 key moments from Rudolph's trial.
Welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. I'm Anjanette Levy. Travis Rudolph says he was acting in self-defense when he fired at a group of men leaving his home 39 times back in April of 2020.
Fair use, fair use.
Those 4 men were leaving his home in a vehicle following a fight. It all started after Travis Rudolph and his now ex-girlfriend, Dominique Jones, had a fight at his house in West Palm Beach. Jones said it got physical, and Rudolph told her to leave. Jones texted her brother and one of his friends telling them to shoot him up. 4 men showed up, including Jones's brother.
Yeah, look at this heifer. Yep, that heifer did all that. And yet she's not in jail.
Keyshawn Jones, Tyler Robinson, Christopher Lowe, and Sebastian Jean-Jacques. A fistfight broke out between the 4 and Rudolph. Rudolph's brother Daryl was also involved. As those 4 men left, Travis Rudolph fired at a vehicle carrying the men 39 times after he said he saw a gun pointed out of the window. Sebastian Jean-Jacques was killed. Tyler Robinson was hit and wounded, but survived. Joining me to discuss these big moments in the Travis Rudolph trial is Mark O'Mara. He is a famed criminal defense attorney from Orlando, Florida. And if his name and face sound and look familiar to you, that's because he represented George Zimmerman back in 2012, won an acquittal for him in the shooting death of Trayvon Martin. Mark, welcome to Sidebar. Thanks for coming on.
Great to be here. Good seeing you again.
Yeah, good to see you. We've met before.
Now we're going to skip ahead here. We're going to actually watch some of this heifer's testimony.
And some other people and said, shoot Sean Jones, brother, of course.
I haven't seen him in a while.
With his password?
No, because I just had surgery, so I haven't seen him in a while.
So you were snooping around because you were.
I wouldn't use the word snoop.
Overruled.
You were snooping around because you were concerned about him seeing other women down in Miami. Isn't that the bottom line?
The bottom line is he was my boyfriend at the time. I haven't seen him in a month, and I was curious. That's the bottom line.
Okay. You didn't want to lose him, right?
Of course not.
And when Travis said that he found Kyla's body more attractive than yours, you became infuriated, right?
No.
You didn't?
No.
You weren't upset that he found Kyla more attractive than you?
No.
When you saw the text from Kyla, you told the
Does this look like somebody you should believe?
jury yesterday, it was time for me to go. You remember that?
Correct.
And when you saw the text from Kyla, Travis was still outside, right? He was out with his brother. You were looking through his phone when he was outside.
Correct.
So you waited for Travis to come back into the house to confront him, did you not?
I more so didn't confront him. I just went into the room to grab my things.
So you didn't walk right out the door, did you?
I went to go grab my things, and he seen his phone on the couch, so he kind of put 2 and 2 together.
You waited for him to come back in so that you could confront him. Isn't that what's happening?
I didn't confront him. He kind of confronted me about the situation because he's seen his phone was open.
You wanted to hurt him, and that's why you stayed in the house so that you could confront him and then destroy his property. Did you not?
No, I wanted to grab my things and I wanted to leave.
Yeah, I don't
You
believe
went
it.
off on him, didn't you?
No.
Yesterday, you told the jury I was hurt. I was not angry. You remember that?
Yes.
You were actually very angry, were you not?
I was more so hurt than angry.
But you were also angry, weren't you?
I was more so hurt than angry.
So, Mark, how do you think that Dominique Jones held up on the stand? She's basically texting these people and saying, he did this to me, shoot him up.
I think she did fair. I think the defense did a very good job because remember, what this whole case has to be about is Rudolph's perspective of what was going on. So the fact that, she does sort of set this in motion. She's the one who says, shoot the blank up or his blank up. That's sort of the previous event, right? That's the cause of all of this. And then when they show up, Rudolph reacts as most of us would have when somebody breaks into your house or comes to your house, and he reacted to protect himself. And I thought the defense did a very good job of sort of showing this all happened because of her, and but for her bringing in the posse, so to speak, none of this would have happened.
And Florida, we've seen this in other cases, has a very strong stand your ground law, self-defense law. So that's going to play heavily into this case.
Oh, big time. I mean, this whole case is truly a traditional self-defense. Now, remember again, the nuance between Florida's stand your ground and others basically means if you're where you're allowed to be, and Rudolph certainly was in his own home, then you don't have to back away. You don't have to retreat before using deadly force. But it hardly matters when you're in your own home, because that sort of brings us over to the castle doctrine, which means at the front door of your residence, of your home, of your castle, you're allowed to defend yourself. So while stand your ground gives Mr. Rudolph some additional benefits under the statute, this is truly traditional self-defense. Can you protect yourself in your home from the threat, or at least the perceived threat, of great bodily injury?
One of the big points of contention in this case is whether or not the posse, the group of four, went to the house of Travis Rudolph with a gun. Two of the four men had told the lead detective in this case, Emily Vanderland, that none of them had a gun, but a canine actually located one tossed away. Here's Travis Rudolph's attorney grilling the detective about her work.
Why would you do that in a homicide case? Talk to someone and not record what they have to say. What logical reason would any human being do that to another human being?
Well, we
Well-
don't just constantly record ourselves. I mean, I suppose with body cams now, that's not exactly a true statement, but at the time we didn't have body cams, and we don't just turn the recorder on and record every single second of every single thing. I didn't take a statement that was not recorded. I spoke to her, is what I'm saying, and it was not recorded.
I didn't ask you that. My question, you made the statement. You're privileged to do that.
Yes.
Then I'm asking you, why in the world would you ever do that? That's all I'm asking you. I'm not asking what you did in this case. I'm asking what you do. Why would you do that?
Sustained.
Mark, I'm interested in how you believe the lead detective did on the stand, because she kind of chuckled a little bit. That's allowed in court. Things happen. But, she just kind of took their word for it. It sounded like that none of them brought a gun.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem. And look, we as good defense counsel always look and say, what could have been done better? What could have been done differently? This investigation was fair, maybe okay. This was not a great investigation by law enforcement, because you're right. What they sort of did was, okay, you guys showed up. He said he had no guns. Let's blame him and charge him with a crime. But the harsh reality is what Rudolph said was that there was the threat of guns, or that they had guns. They lie about it. Lo and behold, K9 finds one. Then there was also some forensic evidence of maybe the decedent could have had a gun in his hand when he was shot. So I think all of that evidence is going to work well in the defense favor for a couple of reasons. One, cops didn't do a great job. Two, victims, or posse as we call them, were lying or willing to minimize their own involvement in it. And at a certain point, the jury's going to say, we can't believe them on that. We can't believe them on anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, the next clip we're going to look at involves one of the four men from that evening. His name is Tyler Robinson, and he was at the house that night, of course. And he admits that he actually took a gun to Travis Rudolph's home, but says he never pulled it. A canine later located a gun, as I mentioned earlier. He testified about being in the car when Travis Rudolph fired those 39 shots at the vehicle. Let's listen.
I'm still laying on the floor at this point, just trying not to get hit with any bullets. And then when the car finally,
Look at his body language. Just saying, look at his body language.
this isn't something I can see, but I'm aware of the cars, and you can feel when you're in a car and it's moving, regardless if you can see or not. So I feel the car moving, and I guess we turned around to leave, but then we just stopped, or it seemed like we just stopped. It seemed like the car stopped moving. So I feel myself get shot in my back.
Is this the second shot?
Yeah, it is. I got after I felt another shot in my back. I kind of was, and the car wasn't moving. So I'm under the assumption that if I'm getting shot, or so I believe I am, and that's what I feel, my brothers are probably getting shot too. So I'm thinking everyone in the car probably died because we're not moving and no one's talking. So I just assumed everyone was dead.
For those of you just coming in, I'm briefly going over the Travis Scott case and all of this mess.
What'd you do then?
I just got out the car.
You opened the door and ran out?
Yeah, basically, I didn't want to die sitting in the car, so I just got, I just got out.
Mr. Robinson, I know emotionally you're probably going through a lot right here. Are you pulling your firearm? Do you pull your firearm at any point during what you just described?
No, ma'am. I kind of forgot I had my gun in my pocket. I want to protect my brothers.
So how did he do on direct, Mark?
Hate to overuse the term. I think he did fair. I don't think he did great. Again, the concern is, here's this idea: the posse is coming at the request of the girlfriend. Shoot his blank up, shooting with weapons, with guns, and then they do bring a gun. But the argument is, okay, I brought it to the car, but didn't bring it in. A little bit difficult to believe, particularly when you have Rudolph's testimony that he thought that there was a gun. So they did fair. Again, a jury's got to look at this and say, if they're lying about one thing, can we believe them about much? And that's something the jury's going to have to wrestle with very much with this witness.
39 shots. I mean, a lot of people would say, hey, that's massive overkill. But how does that play into this? I think we need.
Yeah, let me answer that. Yeah, it's called adrenaline. 4 dudes come to your house and try to basically try to kill you, and you're asking why he let off 39 shots, trying to defend himself and his household. Okay, let that sink in. I'm just saying.
Need to talk about that for a moment because they're saying he had a semi-automatic weapon, 39 shots. They're going away in the vehicle. Rudolph thinks he sees a gun pointed at him. So is 39 shots too much?
That's going to hurt. A number of things are going to hurt his argument of self-defense, because remember, the essence of self-defense is reasonable fear of imminent, right now, great bodily injury. So when you're driving away, this argument of great bodily injury has sort of gone away. They're leaving. The threat, even momentarily, has subsided in effect from the prosecution's case because they're leaving. The argument that the defense has got to sort of wrestle with and get across to this jury is, with everything that was going on, the guns in the area, him being in his own home, the idea that he shot a gun once is justifiable because he was truly in fear of imminent great bodily injury. Then, if you get past justification of that first shot, you probably will be given a little bit of leeway on the rest. But I will tell you, the way it's going to come across in the prosecution, this guy's just wasting his entire magazine on people fleeing from the scene, and that is not self-defense.
Let's now look at Travis Rudolph's attorneys grill Tyler Robinson on cross-examination.
Keep in mind, all this is happening because this heifer, Miss Jones, called her brother and other people over to mess with this dude.
Questioned about things that he only recently revealed about that text that Dominique Jones sent that really brought the posse or the group to Travis Rudolph's home that night. Let's look.
You're asked by the prosecution on,
once again, look at the body language,
November 8th, 2021. Again, you're asked that Dominique texted you and Kashan saying, shoot his shut up. Is that correct? And you said, I don't remember, right?
Correct.
Wasn't until Friday of last week was the first time, 2 years after this happened, was the first time you ever said that's what she texted you, right?
Correct.
It's in black and white. You saw a copy of it. The prosecution, the police, somebody told you, here it is. They got it now.
I agree.
Because you knew Dominique erased her phone. She was trying to hide evidence, right? She told you that.
No, sir.
You still talk to her every day?
No, sir, not every day.
You still texting her messages, you love her and you got her and you'll do anything for her? Those kind of messages like we saw?
Less, it's less often that we
Yeah, imagine so. I got shot. Yeah.
speak or have spoken. So no, sir, we don't relay those messages
Okay.
quite as often.
But you still love her, right?
Correct.
Do anything for
Nothing wrong with that. I'm not bashing the brother for that. There's nothing wrong with that. We always, some of us have love for people that treat us dirty. It's just, it is what it is.
her?
Circumstantially.
Would you go defend her honor again?
No, sir.
Let's replay
that. Circumstantially.
Okay. Would you go defend her honor again?
No, sir.
You were asked if Chris Lowe was at your house that evening by the prosecution. You said, I don't remember. Remember saying that?
I agree.
And you were asked if Sebastian showed up separate from Chris, and you said you don't remember.
I agree.
You called them. You called Sebastian and Chris and said, come on over. We need to go do whatever your words you want to use. We don't know. Let me ask you this. Did you call those two guys?
What up, Charles? I'm just going over the overview of this case. If you don't mind, I would like to come up and get your take on this. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, here we go. I'd like to get your take on this. But anyway, let me finish this video.
Yes.
All right. And then the phone calls you had, to your knowledge, none of those are recorded, right?
I'm not sure.
No one ever told you that, hey, they have an actual recording of your voice, did they?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, you guys use FaceTime a lot, right?
We have iPhones, so yes.
And you know FaceTime's not recorded. You that's easy to search, right?
I'm not aware of that, sir. I don't know.
Oh, okay. You don't know that.
I don't work for a cell phone company, sir. That's not information that's important to me.
Okay. You asked if you spoke on the phone to Dominique, and you said you don't remember back on November 8th of 2021, correct?
Sustained.
You asked if your brother was home that day, and you said you didn't remember. Remember saying that?
I agree.
Different than what you told us here last week, right?
I agree.
So, Mark, we have Tyler Robinson under cross-examination, basically admitting, yeah, there are things I only revealed for the first time last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was Mark Twain who said, you don't have to have a good memory if you don't lie, right? So, you just keep telling the truth and just ask me a question and I can answer it because it's the truth. And the opposite is if you're making stuff up, if you're leaving stuff out, if you're crafting it the way you want to, it's very easy to get caught, right? And you start adding to it. And that's exactly what happened with this witness. He added to it recently, and he was able to be cross-examination very well. There's one of those things we use in closing the argument. If you have a bowl of stew and you're eating it and you get a piece of rancid meat, what do? Eat around it? No, you throw out the whole stew, right? Well, the same thing. They're going to argue he cannot be believed at all. So take all of his testimony, and throw it in the trash and see if the state has proved their case without that. And that's a good argument from the defense, and we're going to see that, I think, coming up.
I thought it was interesting too that he basically admits that he loves her or he did love her. He has these like feelings for her. He was going there to defend her honor.
Yeah, and again, it's
Let's talk about that for a minute. We're going to stop sharing this for now. Let's talk about that for a minute. By the way, if you're just coming in, hit the Cash App and support the show. One of the reasons I'm doing this stream is I just have a simple question for the Black community. How many more young Black men have to die to defend these so-called heifers' honor? Let me say that again for the Negroes that didn't hear me in the back. How many more young Black men have to die to defend these heifers' honor? That's a serious question. How many more have to die to defend these heifers' honor? How many more Poogies and Ray Rays, as you call them, have to get shot and killed because they went on a dummy mission for one of their female relatives? How many more brothers? They don't have to be Pookie and Ray Ray. They could be middle class brothers. Have to die because their mother or a female in their family or their girlfriend send them on a dummy mission to a man's house to roll up on a man's house acting like they ain't got no sense. How many more brothers have to die before we call this shit out? Just asking a serious question. How many more brothers have to die because we have to defend some heifer's honor? And I'm being nice about it. Me saying heifer is just me being nice about it. But none of this with Travis Randolph wouldn't have even happened if that heifer hadn't even opened her mouth to her brother and his friends. Now, fortunately for Travis, he was found not guilty. But suppose he hadn't. Suppose that Strag that tried to prosecute him won her case. What then? What? Okay, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled not to give a shit. But anyway, serious question. When are we gonna call out these sisters that send Black men on kamikaze missions? Doesn't have to be a Pookie and Ray Ray. Could be a middle class brother. Could be a lame brother, as you say. Doesn't have to be a Pookie and Ray Ray. And by the way, Pookie and Ray Ray aren't always the bad guys either. But that's just a serious question. How many more brothers have to die before we start calling out these heifers and send them on dummy missions? Y'all do know that's the real reason why crime in the hood keeps persisting is really not the gangs, it's these heifers who start shit. But seriously, how many more young brothers have to die before we start really calling this shit out? As far as I'm concerned, old boy's ex-girlfriend should be in jail. Plain and simple. She should be in jail for what she did. There's no reason that they shouldn't have already charged her with attempted murder. They probably ain't gonna do it, but she should be in jail for attempted murder. As far as I'm concerned, and so should all of her assailants. They should all be in jail for attempted murder. Plain and simple. But yeah, these are my thoughts on. I just wanted to get my thoughts out about this case. I'm overjoyed that the brother beat the case and they found him not guilty. Now, hopefully, for those you don't know, he is an ex NFL player. He was actually looking to go to Canadian League and play football up there, but all this got derailed because this heifer, he didn't want to take this heifer with him. You could take that any way you wanted. It is what it is. But he was found not guilty, and I don't have a problem with the verdict at all. Hopefully, and I honestly hope that this will be a lesson to these young brothers out here. Stop going on dummy missions for these dumb heifers. Don't put your life in danger because these in the name of these heifers' honor, so-called honor. Any woman that sends you to another man's house to act a fool doesn't have any honor. Plain and simple. No, I don't think she wins in the end. Just because they did convict her, now we know who she is. And man, trust me, trust to believe this case has been broadcasted nationwide. Nationwide, nobody in their right mind is going to want to be with that heifer. And if they do, well, that's on them. And trust and believe, she will do some dumb shit like this again. More than likely, she's gonna do some dumb shit like this again. And it is what it is. But you gotta remember, we're black men and we live in America. And life for us definitely ain't fair. But a lot of times it ain't even right either. But this is the life we live. We got heifers like this running around in our community. Yeah, causing shit like this, raising head like this, getting brothers killed like this. And I don't know, we're gonna have well, the community as the angry man Valdez was said, our community is already a smoldering crater. So if y'all want to, if some of y'all want to save the black community, y'all gonna have to start calling shit like this out. Plain and simple. By the way, if you're just coming in, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, hit the Cash App and support the show. You're lucky I'm doing a show at all, coming off one of my dialysis trips. But no, she doesn't win. She doesn't win in the end. Not in my opinion. She doesn't win. But yeah, Travis Scott was found. I'm sorry, Travis Randolph was found not guilty, and I don't have a problem with it. I'm happy for the brother that was found not guilty. And my opinion, jury should serve justice. Yeah, she may have gotten off, but Now we know who she is, and if something similar occurs with her, no one will be surprised. The scary part is there are black women like this running around right now, and nobody want to talk about it. Us as black men were, well, we were trained up not to talk about heifers like this, but now in the age of the internet, we get to talk about heifers like this. There are heifers like this in every community, in black community, that starts shit, that starts shit all the time, but nobody wants to talk about them. Well, I'm gonna talk about them now. Needs to be called out. Well, I'm tired. That's all I got for today. Thanks for all y'all who came through. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace. Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified the next time I upload a live stream or video. And always remember, keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace.